Hey, what's going on everybody? In this video we're going to demonstrate some of the various techniques required to make a Spacescapes ring, which is a ring in my signature style of jewelry design. Alright, first things first, we have to do some texturing to the ring. Texture is a great way to add dimension to a piece of jewelry, and it's usually one of the least expensive ways to add some sort of element to your jewelry pieces. In this video, you can see me using two brass rods. I've textured both their faces into that railroad spike you see beneath the mandrel. From there, you can hammer that texture directly into the piece you're working on. Next, we set ourselves up for the fusion process. I like to use this particular style of fire brick because it allows me to push my objects into it, does a pretty good job at holding them, while at the same time reflecting heat instead of absorbing heat like a charcoal block would. I do this because with a charcoal block, you're putting yourself at risk for overheating your piece of jewelry. Whereas with the fire brick, I feel like you have more control over how the piece is heated. And you really need that control if you're going to be fusing regularly. It's entirely about flame control. If you hold the temperature slightly above the melting point, the entire piece is going to turn into a ball. So you really need to be dancing on that fine line. And it's going to take a lot of practice to get to the point where you feel in control of this technique. You'll see here the piece is heated evenly to that practically bright orange, and you are just flirting with it at that point, trying to get a little shimmer of silver, which pretty much indicates that you've had a little bit of flow between the gold and the silver, or whatever alloys you're working with. You'll see here that I brought the brass rods back, and I'm just hammering down my gold. The gold kind of fuses like granules, and I like to hammer them down and planish them so that they can be flat and collect light. And I doubt this step needs any introduction. We're just cleaning up the ring shank on the inside, preparing it for its next steps in the process. And here we vanquish the evil foe, which is known as arthritis, by giving the ring an arthritic sizer to assist the customer, because nobody likes to deal with issues when wearing something that they really love. Next, we got a little bit of cleanup, which is going to lead to stamping, and then the piece will be ready for oxidation and stone setting. All right, time to set ourselves up for clean flush setting. And, most of the times you'll see somebody lining up a bunch of lines and being incredibly precise. But in this style of jewelry making, it's more about negative space. So I really like to set one stone and decide where the next stone is going to be. This is purely an artistic choice, as this jewelry style is purely, well, in its essence, is mostly, art driven, maybe a little bit abstract and conceptual. And that's what I get. That's what I get the most out of personally. Like in all stone setting, you'll see that I use a ball bear to set my center mark, and then after that I will drill my hole. I don't want the hole to go all the way through with these, so I only draw as deep as I think I will need, and then I open it up with a ball burr of the same diameter of the size stone that I'm going to be using to set up the flush setting. I gently push the stone so that it sits even, and the table just slightly flush or a little bit above the face of the ring, and then I take my tiny needle burnisher and I go around and around the circumference of the stone. In fact, the technique I used, I learned from a guy who used to set stones for Tiffany's, and one secret that he taught me was to use a mild steel nail. And this is because the mild steel won't abrade the faces on the sapphires, which, if you've done a lot of stone flush setting with sapphires, we all know that is a real problem. In fact, it also kind of somehow carves, as the nail goes around the stone, it slightly carves a little home that protects the stone and also pushes the metal around the stone in the way that you would want to anyhow. It's a real genius tip, and I doubt anybody waits this long to listen to it, but if you make it this far through the video and you are a jeweler, then that is a true tried and tested technique that I just love to go to. It has expedited my flush setting greatly. Hey, thank you so much for watching the video. I really enjoyed making it, and I really love making the jewelry that I make. To my customers, I'm always very flattered that you contact me for your custom needs and working in my style, and I hope to continue to work on your projects for the foreseeable future. Be safe and happy, my friends. Take care. Thank you for watching the video. If you want to learn more about me and my other lines of jewelry, please visit www.kylethomas.com. That's kylethomas.com. If you are interested in contacting me for custom jewelry needs, I'd be happy to work with you in one of my signature styles. On the website, you'll find a page dedicated for this purpose. While on kylethomas.com, you will also see the various pieces displayed here in these photographs, and you can purchase items online. If you'll be ordering for the holiday seasons coming up this 2020, feel free to contact me if you're concerned about availability and when packages will arrive. Lastly, we are very happy to announce the opening of onthewater.jewelry, the flagship of our nautical line of jewelry that we used to sell under the name Kyle Thomas Goldsmith. Nothing has changed. We still make everything ourselves. It's still made in Massachusetts and designed by me, Kyle Thomas. But we thought it would be fun to separate the lines so that their two very different personalities could shine. Always check in at onthewater.jewelry for new items before they go on sale. We like to do something called pre-orders, which, as the name states, is your opportunity to get a slight discount of a new product before it launches. We look forward to seeing you online at one of our websites. And until next time, have a good one.